Let's start by making our pancake batter, and while you can use your regular whisk, I'm going to be using my blender today for no particular reason. And since I've made almond flour pancakes and coconut flour pancakes in the past, today I'm making a hybrid pancake using both. I'm going to start by adding in 30 grams of coconut flour, 50 grams of almond flour, half a teaspoon of baking powder, 2 micro spoons of stevia, and a pinch of salt. Then I add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 60 ml of heavy cream, and 4 whole eggs. And no, I don't have an egg-free version. Now it's time to blitz this in the blender, and if you are using your hand whisk, then just whisk away. And your pancake batter is ready. But didn't I say I was making red velvet pancakes? Looks like Mr. Smarty Pants here forgot the red part. So I'm going to add in some red food color and give it all another good blitz. Anyway, now our red colored red velvet pancake batter is ready to use. But before I get to making the pancakes, let me make the frosting because that needs to chill in the fridge for a bit. For the frosting, you need 200 grams of cream cheese at room temperature, 100 grams of butter at room temperature, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 50 grams of your favorite keto sweetener, and give everything a good mix. Now normally I'd add a pinch of salt too, but since my butter was salted, I didn't. Also make sure you use a powdered sweetener, not a granular one. Anyway, once that's whisked and ready, pop it in the fridge to chill. Now it's time to cook our pancakes, and I've got this cute little pancake pan of mine. I'm going to heat up some butter in the pan, and once that butter has melted, in goes my pancake batter. And I'm just going to give it a little shake and spread that batter around. I think by now all of you know my little trick of covering the pancake and letting it cook, so that when I flip it, the batter won't splatter everywhere. And once it's cooked on one side, flip it over and just let it cook for a few seconds on the other, and once that pancake is cooked, remove it from the pan. Now just follow the same process. Add the batter to the pan, give it a shaky shake and spread that batter a bit. Cover it, let it cook, flip it after it's cooked on one side, and then remove it once it's cooked on the other side. And then one by one our pancakes are done. And this recipe makes about 6 of these pancakes. Now it's time to frost our pancakes, and you want to let your pancakes cool before you start frosting them, because otherwise hot pancakes with cold frosting equals a soupy mess. So make sure the pancakes are cooled down. And it's pretty easy. It's just pancake, frosting, pancake, frosting. Lay down a pancake, frost it. Lay down another pancake, frost it. Pretty simple, and you get the idea. And then our red velvet pancake cake is ready, and it looks gorgeous. That seriously looks good. I'm impressed with myself. But now we gotta make sure it looks pretty for the photo, so I'm just gonna make it snow using some of that powdered sweetener. And I'll just sift some of that over the pancakes, and now it's truly a thing of beauty. Absolutely gorgeous and ready to eat. But as always folks, you know I cannot let you go without cutting into this pancake cake. And let me do just that and show you a cross section of it. And just enjoy the view folks. So the first thing we're going to do is take some walnuts, and we are going to roughly chop them. And if you don't like walnuts or are allergic to walnuts, you could also use hazelnuts or pecans, no problem. Anyway, we're just gonna put those walnuts in a dry frying pan, and we're gonna toast it on a medium heat for about 3 to 4 minutes till the nuts get nice and toasty. And yes, once your nuts are nice and toasty, make sure you take them out of the pan and let them cool down. Now to make our mug cake, I'm going to start with some almond flour. I'm also going to add in some coconut flour, some baking powder, and our pumpkin spice. Now I'm using a store-bought pumpkin pie spice mix powder, but really you can just throw in a little bit of cinnamon and allspice and nutmeg if you can't find a ready-made pumpkin spice mixture. It's fine, no big deal. Then I'm going to put in a little bit of xanthan gum. Then I'm going to throw in the almonds that we toasted. Make sure you've allowed them to cool down. Next, I add in the wet ingredients, which is some melted butter, some maple flavored syrup for sweetness. Now, if you can't find a keto friendly maple syrup where you live, you can just use a sweetener of your choice. Thankfully, I've got this Lakanto maple flavored syrup sent to me by my fans Robert and Nancy Boyer. So thank you guys so much for sending me this. And one whole egg. And then I'm going to give it all a good whisk. And whilst I was whisking, I realized I should have actually added the walnuts right at the end, because right now they're getting caught in the whisk. Anyway, I managed to whisk it all together. And then I got a ramekin, because who makes mug cakes in mugs anymore? And I buttered that ramekin using just one finger, ladies and gentlemen. And then I put the batter into the ramekin. It was a nice thick batter. And then I put it in the microwave for about 90 seconds. And then you just let it cook. And after 90 seconds, well, it's pretty much ready. And it already looks so good. And of course, I just have no patience whatsoever. So I had to upturn the ramekin to see how it turned out. And well, looked pretty good to me. I mean, it looked like a mug cake made in a ramekin. Anyway, I was not done with this cake. It was time to frost it with some cream cheese frosting. Now, to get the recipe for this cream cheese frosting, look on the right hand side of the screen. You will see an I button and there's a link to the cream cheese frosting recipe right there. Because I've made it before and I didn't want to show you how to make it again. Anyway, once you're done frosting the cake, I'm going to top it with some more walnuts. And then I'm going to put it in the fridge for a little bit, though you can eat it right now if you like. But I'm going to put it in the fridge to cool down. Anyway, after about 10 minutes in the fridge, that mug cake looked yummy and ready to eat. Perfect if you ask me. Anyway, before we taste, I've got to show you what it's all about. And yep, yummy, yummy, yummy. I can't wait to get it into my tummy. So to make our mug cake, we're going to take 25 grams of almond flour. And to that, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of powdered erythritol. Then I'm going to add in 1 tablespoon of melted butter, half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 tablespoon of full fat Greek yogurt, 1 whole egg, about a teaspoon of lemon juice, some lemon zest. Then I'm going to add in some thyme leaves, and you don't want to add too many because this can be quite a strong flavor. Hey guys, so I must confess I forgot to add baking powder to my mug cake, so make sure you add some of that. About a half a teaspoon will be fine. Anyway, give that all a good mix. Then make sure you taste your batter for sweetness and flavor. Mine needed a little more time, so I added a few more leaves in, gave it one final good mix, and then the batter was ready. So I poured out my batter into a ramekin because I just prefer making mug cakes in these rather than the mug. And then you pop this in the microwave for about a minute or a minute and a half. But I decided to bake my mug cake today, so I put it in the oven. And I made sure that I preheated my oven to 175 degrees Celsius. And this will take about 15 to 20 minutes. Anyway, after about 18 minutes, my mug cake was ready. And that looks pretty good already. And now while our mug cake cools down, I'm going to make the glaze. So for the glaze, I'm going to use 60 grams of cream cheese. To that, I'm going to add 60 ml of heavy whipping cream, 1 tablespoon of erythritol, a little bit of leftover lemon zest, a little vanilla extract, and then of course give it all a good mix. And that's it, the glaze is ready. Now once the cake has cooled down, we're going to pour that glaze right over it. And of course decorate it with a little fresh thyme. And oh yeah, that looks really good. I can't wait to taste it. But of course, I got to show you what that cake looks like. So get a spoon out and well, get some of that cake, man, and put it in your mouth. Eat that cake. So the first thing we're going to do is get a saucepan and put in about 250 ml of coconut cream. To that we're going to add 180 ml of heavy whipping cream. Next I add in some stevia and make sure you sweeten to taste. Next I'm going to add in the Kaffir lime leaves and make sure you tear them before putting them in so that they release all their flavor. Next I'm going to take a stick of lemongrass and just bash it with a rolling pin, and then I add the lemongrass into the saucepan as well. Then I'm going to put the saucepan on the stove and I'm going to give everything a good mix. Now you just want to cook this on a low heat for about 4 to 5 minutes, just till it comes up to a simmer. So just let it cook, and just as soon as it starts to bubble and simmer, we're going to cover it with the lid and let everything infuse for 30 minutes. The next thing I'm going to do is put 3 grams of gelatin in 1 tablespoon of water and just let it sit for about 5 minutes to bloom. So after about 30 minutes, I'm going to turn the stove back on, and our mixture should hopefully be nice and fragrant now. That Kaffir lime and lemongrass should have infused in the coconut cream and the whipping cream. Anyway, give it all a good mix. And now I'm going to add in the gelatin. And of course, give it all a good mix. And once again, you want to cook this on a low heat. You don't want this to be a high heat. You just want to cook it till the gelatin dissolves. And once the gelatin has dissolved and the mixture just about starts bubbling, we're going to take it off the heat and then we're going to strain it into a Pyrex dish. This is just so that it becomes easier to pour. And once that's done, you can pour the panna cotta mixture into your molds, or you can use something like I'm using these lovely glass dishes. And then you just want to put it in your fridge for about 4 hours to chill. And after about 4 hours, our panna cotta is ready and it looks delicious.